Hello, my name's Tom, and I wanted to, this is sort of an introduction, but actually I'm doing it after a bunch of tests we've done on drip brewing, pour-over drip brewing. And I just wanted to share our findings. You can watch the other videos too, which are a mess, and see the process, etc. But there's been some very interesting revelations in this series of tests that we did. I'll just cut to the chase. One of them was what we were trying to do was basically make the best tasting coffee possible. To do that, we're doing two things. Of course, we're tasting our results, and we're also using our refractometer to check the brew strength. One thing that we found is that this thing tells you that something in the area of 1.18% extraction up to 1.22 is where most people like their extraction. And we definitely found that to be true. With the cups we under-extracted, we could tell that it was not a favorable result. What this does is this measures the amount of soluble solids that you wash out of the coffee in the brewing process. So the variables are your grind, which exposes more surface area of the coffee to the hot water to allow the soluble solids, meaning the flavor, what you taste, to wash out of the coffee. You have the temperature of the brew water. You have the amount of time that they're in contact with each other, and you also have the turbidity, the mixing of the water and the coffee. So if that's stirred constantly, you get a higher extraction in a shorter amount of time. You also change the flavor results. So those things are all variable, and obviously with filter cones where the water just pours right through, you have less contact time. That's the difference is that we have these filter cones, and then we have this kind of other thing, which is a filter cone that's the clever coffee dripper with the stopper on the bottom that allows the coffee and water to mix longer. And this tests have proven that the clever coffee dripper is quite a different item than these other ones. It needs to be thought of differently than your typical filter cone. So let me go over some of the things. We tested exclusively with the Kenya. We were going to choose a very mild coffee, but we decided to choose a really good, potent coffee, but one that shows brewing problems really easily. One of the things we found out right off the bat was a lot of this became about paper taste in coffee. It was not so much, which is related to the percent of soluble solids you extract, measuring with this. We used a variety of paper filters. I didn't grab them. We used white Filtropa filters. We excluded the aroma brown unbleached Filtropa filters. What we found, what I've been finding recently, and actually why we're going to drop the aroma brown from our lineup at Sweet Maria's, is that it has too much paper taste. We also used, hemp filters, not because we're big hemp supporters or whatever. I like hemp, I don't care. But hemp filters have had really good results for us. I think that the structure of the filter doesn't break down so much, so the pulp of the paper doesn't get into the coffee as much. Why does this matter? Well, with a Kenya, you can definitely tell the results. I don't know if you could with a Sumatra. You can definitely taste paper taste in coffee. When you brew smaller amounts of coffee, especially with these methods, you get paper taste because, relatively, if you dissolve a bunch of paper pulp into water, you're going to taste it more if you're making a smaller total volume as a result. The other thing is that if you do under-extract, if you get 1.00% extraction instead of 1.20 that we were shooting for, paper taste comes through very strongly. Now, what we're trying to do in these tests, I think I'm going to have to break this video into a couple parts. So why don't we stop there and we'll start part 2.